Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. I hope you're doing really well. And on this channel, I like to talk about all things film, Blu-ray and physical media collecting. So this is the third video in my Curation collection series. So what I'm basically doing is reevaluating the collection on my shelves. I have another one over here, what's behind me, and basically trying to reduce what's in my collection and turn it into curation, because there's a lot of stuff that I own that I don't need to, basically. I need to make way for future purchases and just whittle my collection down to films that I truly love and that I will rewatch and that mean something to me, basically, because there are a lot of things that I have that I've watched that are just okay or pretty good. There's a lot of things I've watched that I still have that I didn't really enjoy that much. So basically this is an ongoing series in which I'm going to pick 3 films from my collection, add it to my curation and purge one title and get rid of that one, and give some brief thoughts about why I'm doing that. So this entry into my collection is a bit of a cheat because it's 2 Blu-rays, but it's of the same film. So I did say adding a film to my collection. So this is one of my top 10 all-time favorite films, and I'm adding in both versions of the film I have because there are bonus features that aren't included on both of them that are exclusive to each of the releases. So I've got the Criterion Collection version of The Passion of Joan of Arc, directed by Carl Theodor Dreyer, and then I also have the Eureka edition of the same film, but it's got different special features and stuff on it. So in terms of picture quality and stuff, these films are pretty much identical, at least to my eye. There's not much difference, but I can't not only have one of these because of the bonus features. I just love this film so much that I needed to double dip and have both available, like really good available versions of it. So yeah, the film in brief follows the last hours of Joan of Arc as she's being put on trial for heresy, for basically claiming that she's been spoken to by God, and how all these men of the clergy are basically interrogating her, and how she's basically steadfast in her faith. And it includes one of the all-time greatest performances by anyone ever, by Falconetti as Joan of Arc. And if you've never seen the film before, it is a silent film, but I truly implore you to watch it because it is a marvel of acting prowess, basically. It's one of the most emotional, affecting things I've ever seen put to screen, and it's amazing. So these are entering my curation. Next up, something a little different from The Passion of Joan of Arc, is a 1987, did this film come out in 97? Yeah, 87 film. Directed by Joel Schumacher, and it's The Lost Boys. I grew up watching this film. I absolutely love this film so much. I'll probably watch it a couple of times a year, and I love the music, I love the tone, I love how 80s it is, I love the way that vampires are depicted in this film. I love the house that the Sam and Michael and their grandpa live in. It's just incredible filmmaking, and it just looks so good as well for the type of film it is. It's beautifully photographed, and it's a film I will watch over and over and over again and never bore of it. So this edition is going into my collection. I really wish that someone like Arrow, or one of the boutique Blu-ray labels that covers a lot of horror films, would pick this up and give it like a special edition treatment. Next entry into the curation is another one of my favorite films. I think these first few early videos of this curation series will include a lot of my favorite films, like in terms of like top 10, top 20 films of all time list. But yeah, this is a film by Abbas Kiarostami, and it's from 1990, and it's called Close Up. So this is a docufiction film. So it tells the story of a man who has impersonated a famous director called Mohsen Mokhtarbaff, who is a famous Iranian director, and he basically fools this Iranian family into believing he is this man, and that he wants to film a picture at their house. And the film depicts the trial of this man, like actual footage from the trial, but it also intersperses it with filmed reenactments of what happened, using the people who were involved in the real case. So the man reenacts him fooling and basically fraudulently going into their home, and even the family who he's fooled are in the reenactment. So it's a very bizarre concept, very meta, very much a multi-layered deep dive into what it means to create art, what it means to consume art, to have idols, to feel like you have purpose. And it contains one of the most beautiful, heartbreaking endings to a film I've ever seen. And yeah, it will be watched multiple times over the course of my life, and it deserves to be in my curation. And my Purge title for this week is another Criterion. The last couple of videos I've done, they've all been Criterion purges. I do have a lot of Criterions. I've probably got about 200 spine numbers. And I guess for the most part, I'd probably say 80% of them have been hits, but there have been some misses. And this is one of them, and it's the 1936 film by George Stevens starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and it's Swing Time. Now, this sort of film I typically really enjoy, sort of like a 30s or 40s films in general, but like a musical or dancing type film. Like I really enjoyed the Charles Vidor film Covergirl starring Rita Hayworth, which has got lots of musical and dance numbers in it and things like that. But for some reason this one just did not connect with me whatsoever, and I felt a little cold after watching it. I think I gave it like 2 stars on my Letterboxd account. It really just didn't spark anything in me, and I'm usually quite a sucker for anything that's like musical and has dance things in it. Like I usually get really into them, but for some reason this one just didn't quite work for me. And I have seen a few other Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire films that have I've enjoyed a lot more, but for some reason Swing Time just didn't do anything for me, and I am purging it from my collection. So there's episode 3 of the Curation collection series done. Let me know what you think of my inclusions into my collection and what you thought about my purge. And yeah, so until next time everyone, take care.